Okay, I was debating on how I was going to do this, but I figure I'll just tell you all the truth. What happened is I had it all cut out and dyed, and actually it shrunk. It's going to be way too tight. And in fact, the fellow that I'm making this for called up with that concern. First of all, I molded it upside down. It's supposed to go in that way, but that's fine. That still fits pretty good. But then again, I found out by looking at it that if this was stitched to another piece and was held down, that this is very difficult to remove. It'll come out, but you got to fight with it. You don't want to do that. So what I did is I started over again. I made a bigger block. You see how much bigger that block is than this one. This is still the size of the phone, so I can use this for testing. And I remolded another piece of leather, so let's go ahead and take the clamps off of that. It's still a little moist under there. Let's see how that came out, and that came out pretty good. A couple of spots on the side. I'm gonna take and just mash that in a little bit. Just to get a clearly delineated line around there. Right along there. And this is all going to be dyed black. Now I said this is a bone folder. Actually, it's a horn folder. It's buffalo horn. And that's usually what I use for these kind of things. I also have a hunk of deer antler that I'll use for this. Okay. That's it off the mold. And this will slide in and out a lot easier. It's still going to shrink a little bit, but you know, it'll work better. This is not a complete total loss. I'll be right back. Just so happens I've got this camera here. This is going to be pretty cool because this pretty much fits right in here. I'm going to have to modify this a little bit. Just take a piece of wood and put it on there, a little bit wider than that, and make a space for the lens. To fit down in there, because it should stretch out that much. There's still a lot of room in there. That's going to fit perfect pretty much. Yeah, I just need a little bit extra stretch in there. And I can still use the same back piece for it. So I'll be able to make myself my own little belt pouch for my little camera. Now back to this in here. Let's go ahead and trim that a little bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my dividers and mark a line from this edge that I put on here, a line along there, and along there. Take my straight edge And actually I'll probably use this guy. And trim it to that line. If I use the knife with this thin leather like this, it could grab it and pull it offline, which isn't good. So I'm going to use my rolling cutter to trim that. Let me set this here. I'm going to go about 5/16. That should give me enough room for a stitch line and a border around the edge. I'll just follow that edge there. And do some trimming. Now, even though my right hand doesn't work as well as it used to, I'm still right-handed. So okay, I won't be able to use that. Looks like I'll have to use a knife, but if I do it in several passes, that'll be fine. There you go, there's one edge. Okay, I'm going to continue trimming this up, and then we'll get a hunk of leather to make the flap, and I'll be right back. Okay. Got all the pieces cut out. I got this piece trimmed the way I want it. I've got the back piece cut out. And I've got the belt loop. Now, well, I made for the other one, but I can use it on this one. I need to do a little bit of wet molding on that. But basically, the belt loop is going to fit on the back, and it's going to curve around like this. And it'll be stitched to the back, and that way this block of wood, which represents the buckle that it needs to pass through it, rather, will fit through there, because once it's stitched in, it'll still have plenty of room and plenty of flex, but it won't be too big. Next step is to dye all these black and then glue them together, make stitch holes, stitch it, and just finish it up. And that'll be it for that. And then I'll be done for today, because, well, I need to let the dye dry for a while before I can work with it again. Well, then that's it for now.